The big black mass was staring at me in the ultrasound room as I lay there and looked at the picture of my breast. Minutes before, the ultrasound technician asked me if I had an implant. That's how large the tumor was. This big black mass occupied the entire upper part of my breast. You can't blame her for thinking that it was an implant. How did I get here? How did I let this happen? 10 months earlier, I went straight to my doctor. At that time, they said it was just dense breast tissue and that it would go away when I had kids. It didn't go away. It turned into stage 3 lobular breast cancer. How does this happen to me? I'm 31. I'm a vegetarian. I run and I exercise. I don't smoke. I thought breast cancer only happened to women over 50. The most difficult part was trying to find my voice. Being so young, I realized that I was overlooked. They assumed that I was fine because I was young and healthy. The only reason why we did find it was because of my persistent question, "Are you sure this lump is normal?" I was supposed to get married June 18th at this beautiful cottage in the Kawartha Lakes with this magnificent view. And let me tell you, every single detail of that wedding was planned, except for the cancer. After getting the news of my diagnosis, my husband and I decided that we would move up the wedding to April 16th, just 2 days before my first day of chemotherapy. My first treatment, I walked in armed with my new husband and my mother and my father. Unfortunately, though, I was only allowed to walk in with one person of my entourage. And obviously, my husband was the first person to volunteer for that. I had to leave my father behind and my mother in the waiting room while I received chemotherapy. I remember looking into his eyes and holding his face and telling him that everything was going to be okay and that he raised a brave and strong and resilient daughter and that this cancer picked a fight with the wrong girl. I think the worst thing any daughter has to endure is watching her father cry. Walking into the chemo suite, I had no idea what to expect. But I can remember being greeted by this beautiful angel of a nurse, Terry. And she was so patient and kind and compassionate. She answered all my questions, like how soon my hair was gonna fall out, and why the chemo I was on was called the Red Devil. But it wasn't just the nurses and the staff that made me feel safe. It was the volunteers who came and offered me cookies, sometimes two, and sandwiches, and hugs, and encouraging words. These were the acts of kindness and compassion that made me find the strength to get through this. By buying a lock, you are supporting cancer awareness, research, and treatment for women like me who live in Windsor and Essex County. You are the hug we need when we're falling apart. You are the hand that holds ours when we're too scared. And you are the voice that fights for us when we're too scared and weak and exhausted to fight for ourselves. Thank you for supporting our Lockout Cancer campaign. And thank you for caring about women in Windsor and Essex County who are living with cancer and who will lock it out. Now please go and buy a lock.